This year in Advent, we are talking about preparing our whole selves for the coming of Jesus Christ. Today, we are focusing on preparing our minds. To prepare our minds, we need to understand what the coming of Christ means. In this story John just read, Joseph initially lacked some very crucial knowledge about what it meant that Mary was going to have a baby. If he'd acted on that lack of knowledge, we can guess that the stories of the New Testament would have gone much differently. Fortunately, an angel was there to fill him in on what was really going on, and he was able to carry on with a more accurate perspective on the situation. Before the story of Joseph, Matthew gives us the genealogy of Jesus, going back to Abraham. Matthew apparently thinks this is essential knowledge for us to understand the significance of Jesus' birth. At the time Matthew was writing his gospel, family lineages were seen as important to someone's identity. Even now, people are fascinated with the ones who came before them. Think back to the family history projects we've all probably done in school. Mine was in second grade. We had to make a family tree and teach our classmates about elements of the culture our ancestors came from. I made meatballs and kuchen with recipes I learned from my Italian and German grandmothers. Matthew doesn't just stop at stories of Jesus' grandparents. He traces Jesus' ancestry back to the founder of the nation and organizes it in 3 groups of 14 generations, which can also be seen as 6 groups of 7. 7 is an important number in the Bible because of the story of creation in which God rested on the 7th day. So, by presenting Jesus as the first of the 7th set of 7 people, Matthew is emphasizing the importance of Jesus' birth. The groupings are from Abraham to David, David to the Babylonian exile, and from the exile to Jesus. Abraham and David are both people to whom God made great promises, and Jesus is the one who fulfills these promises. While we as people may not be biologically descended from Abraham or David or Jesus, as Christians, our faith and our teaching descend from this lineage, and in Matthew's version of this story, it seems that pointing out biological relation is not the point, as the people listed are the ancestors of Joseph, who is not biologically related to Jesus. Joseph became Jesus' father by choosing to accept Mary and raise Jesus. In the same way, we can choose to be part of Jesus' family and the family of faith. We learn from the stories of our chosen ancestors as well as our biological ancestors. By reading the version of the genealogy with all the boos and cheers added in, we remind ourselves of the stories behind that long list of names. The people that we cheered for and the people that we booed for are all a part of the story. The parts of our lives that we cheer for and the parts that we boo for are all part of our stories. And in all of our stories are part of the ongoing genealogy of Jesus because we choose to be a part of Jesus' family. So as we prepare our minds for the coming of Jesus, we remember our family stories. We might not always understand them, and we might, like Joseph, think we know what's going on and be totally wrong. But we know that God builds the family of Jesus from people who know things and people who get it wrong, from people we boo for and people we cheer for, from you and me and everybody who wants to be a part of the family.